Hi everybody, welcome to this solution video for Buses Part A, which is an opportunity for Cambridge Computer Science IGCSE students to practice some pre-release material. And if you're not a Cambridge Computer Science student, you can still practice your programming with this exercise. It is a data processing challenge. And as you know, we live in a world where data processing is becoming a really big business. So this could be a start for you on your journey to be a computer programming data processor. Okay, so hopefully you're familiar with the task. We're going to skip part A. Not part A, task 1. Because task 2 really builds on task 1. So let's just start with task 2. A bus runs for a 4-week period. The data that the system now needs is to process all of this. So there's a bus and it runs for 4 weeks. There's the data for the first week, which has 5 days. There's the data for the second week. Of course, every week has 5 days. There are 4 weeks, so there are 20 items of data. So what we're being asked to do is to enter data into an array for a 4-week period and calculate and display these statistics. The number of times the bus was early, the number of times the bus was late, and the number of times the bus was on time. So let's just look at task 2 and break it down into a series of manageable programming steps. First of all, we're just going to create an empty array. Next, we're going to, in a loop, get data and append to the array. And also, in a loop, probably in the same loop, we're going to calculate early, late, and on time. Okay, so let's just get started. To create an empty array, I'm going to create an array called times, and it's just an empty array. Now, in a loop, get data and append it into the array. Well, I know I'm going to be storing 20 values. So let's use a count-controlled loop. And in Python, that would be a for loop, a count-controlled loop. So we're going to do something 20 times. The thing that we're going to do is get a value from the user and append it to this empty array. So we're going to append the value into this array. Okay? Now notice there's no data validation here. The program doesn't ask us to consider data validation. So we're just going to get an integer, positive or negative, or 0, and we're just going to append that into the times array. Okay? Now then, in a loop, we're going to calculate how many times the bus was early, how many times it was late, and how many times it was on time. Okay? So we're going to need some variables here to store that information. So let's do early count and assign it a value of 0. Late count and assign it a value of 0, and on time count and assign it a value of 0. And then in the loop, we can use some selection statements to update these variables. So if value is the same as 0, we're simply going to update on time count. Plus 1. We're just counting. So plus 1. If value is greater than 0, that means the bus was early. Else, there's only one final option here. It's either 0, it's greater than 0, otherwise it has to be less than 0. So that's going to be the late count. Okay, so within this for loop, whenever we get a value and put it into the array, let's use this opportunity to also update these counts. So, is that the end of the task? Oh no, we have to output the results, don't we? I think this is a bit tricky, to be honest with you. I didn't find a good way to do this. Here's an option, guys. Days equals, let's just make another array, mun1. This is going to take a little bit of time. So if you want to go and get a cup of tea, go and get a cup of tea. Sorry, mun1, Tuesday 1, Wednesday 1, Thursday 1, and Friday 1. So these are the labels for days in the first week. Now let's just copy all that, paste them in, change these to 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then we need to do from Monday, the 3rd week. Now we're into the 3rd week, just copying and pasting stuff here. And then finally we've reached the 4th week, Friday 4, Thursday 4, Wednesday 4, and Tuesday 4. So, oh, and Monday 4 as well. So these are the labels for each of the days. So I'm going to do the displaying in a new loop. Okay, so again, for I in range 20, I'm going to print using the formatting feature of Python's print function. I'm going to print days I then let's have a colon. So that's going to be Monday 1, colon, and then the first value in the times array. So whoa, let's see if that works. Now, this is going to be a bit tricky because I'm going to have to input 20 values. So I'm just going to comment that out for a minute. I'm just going to import random just to help me test this. And I'm just going to say value equals random dot rand int, let's say -5 to 5. This is just going to do things quickly for me. So let's run this module and see if we get good output. Wow! So they all came out as 0. You have to be kidding me. What have I done wrong here? Times.append value. Value equals random.randint. This is going through times.append value. Wow. What went wrong? It's going to do the same thing. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's interesting. Times.value equals random.randint times.append value. Oh yeah, times 0. No, not times 0. Times I. Let's run that again. Brilliant. So there we go. We very quickly populated the array with values, and I've used another array to deal with the labels for each day. Okay? So that's the end of the first part of this solution, and in the next video we will look at how to solve task 3, which was a really tricky task. Okay?